In this video, you will learn how to calculate the future value of money. You will learn the future value equation, solving problems using a scientific calculator, as well as solving problems using a financial calculator. Now let's get started with the future value equation. You might have seen this in your book, if V equals PV 1 plus I to the power of n. Let me explain it. FV is the future value of money. PV is the present value of money. I, or sometimes it's R, is the interest rate. And N is the number of time periods. Now, let's put this equation in practice. Let's try to solve this problem. It says, suppose you put $100 in a saving account that pays 5% interest annually. How much would you have by the end of 1 year? So, today you put $100. That must be your present value. The saving account will pay you 5%. This is the interest rate you are getting. And then for how long are you keeping this deposit? For 1 year. So how much it will be worth at the end of the 1 year? And this is the future value. And we will solve it using the future value equation. So put down the equation, plug in the numbers, and you will get the answer in your calculator at $105. And this is the future value of your deposit. Now again, let's look at another example. You might want to read the example, pause it, and try to solve it on your own. It says, John is in the market for a vacation place. He finds a small condo in Malibu listed at 400 grand. He decided that now is not the right time to buy and that he will wait 6 years. The condos in Malibu appreciate each year at 3.5%, and John wants to know what a similar condo will sell for in 6 years. Can you help him? Of course we can. Now let's start by categorizing the values that we have. We have a $400,000. That is the price of the condo now, which is the present value. And then we have 3.5%. This is the percentage of the appreciation of the condo, which we can use as an interest rate because it increases. And then John will wait for 6 years, and so this is the number of time periods. Now we will use the future value equation to solve this problem, since the future value is the missing variable. So let's put the equation, plug in the numbers, and you can enter them all in your calculator at once, and you will get the answer, which is 491,702.13. Using the same future value equation, you can solve for different variables, such as I, N, or PV as well. So let's look at these examples. If you sold a land for $11,933 that you bought 5 years ago for $5,000, then what is your annual rate of interest? Here you might be confused as to which value is the present value and which value is the future value. Just try to put them or imagine them on a timeline. Whatever transaction that took place earlier is the present value, and whatever transaction that took place later is your future value. According to this activity, you bought the land 5 years ago for $5,000, so this is your present value, and you sold it for $11,933. So we have the future value, we have the present value, and we have the number of time periods, which is 5 years, and here we are going to try to solve for I. Let's use the future value equation, plug in the numbers. Now we need to find a way of simplifying the equation. What we will do is try to move the numbers on one side and leave the variable or the unknown on the other side. And here what we can do is moving the 5,000 to the left side of the equation. But you gotta be careful in doing that because the 5,000 is initially multiplied by 1 plus I to the power of 5. And this way, if I want to move it to the left side of the equation, I will need to use the opposite sign, and the opposite of a multiplication is a division. So I will divide 11,933 and 5,000, and on the right side of the equation I will be still left with 1 plus I to the power of 5. I will get the answer for the left side of the equation. and 1 plus I to the power of 5 will remain as it is for now. Now I have to find another way to simplify this equation. I believe I can do so by eliminating the exponent on the right side of the equation, which is 5. How can I do that? Is by using the root of degree 5 to both sides of the equation. And it will look like this. So on the left side of the equation, I should solve it using the calculator, and on the right side of the equation, it will only eliminate the exponent 5, so I will be left with 1 plus I. The answer I will get from the calculator is 1.190 for the left side, and the right side, as I said, it will remain 1 plus I. Now we'll need to further simplify this equation, and I believe we can do this by moving the 1 on the right side of the equation to the left. But here you gotta be careful because there's a plus sign between 1 and I. So when I move it to the left of the equation, I will need to use the opposite of a plus, which is a minus. So then I will be left with 1.190 minus 1 equals I. I will get the answer for this, which will be 0.190, so this is the value of I. If I multiply it by 100, it will be 19%. So the interest rate for this problem, or the answer for this problem, is 19%. Now let's look at another example. It says, for much of the 20th century, new car prices rose at an annual rate of 5.73%. Given a beginning new car price of $600, how long did it take the average car price to rise to $16,950, round to the nearest year? So here what we have is the future value of the cars at $16,950, and we already have the present value, which is $600. The growth or the interest rate is 5.73, and we are trying to solve for n. So let's start by using the future value equation and then plug in the numbers. Here we will need to simplify the equation, and what we can do is moving the numbers to the left side of the equation. So we will move the 600 to the left by dividing it, like so. And then we will get the answer, which will be 28.25 on the left side, while on the right side it will remain as it is, 1 plus 0.0573 to the power of n. To further simplify the equation, we will need to lower the exponent, which is n, and how we can do that is by using the natural log. Now, don't worry when you hear a natural log, it's only a key in your calculator, it's the ln key, and I will show you step by step how to do it or how to use it. So, you will press on your calculator ln and enter the value in the left side of the equation, which is 28.25. Get the answer and write it down. And then for the right side of the equation, again in your calculator, press ln and then enter 1 plus 0.0573 and get the answer. Don't forget to write next to the answer n, because now the n is no more an exponent, but on the same line of the equation. Again, we can simplify this equation now by moving the numbers to the left side of the equation. So I will move 0.0557 to the left. This time I will divide it because it was initially multiplied by the n. So it will look like so. I will plug it in my calculator and the value of n will be given to me, which is 59.98. Since the number is in years, we can round it to 60 years. In this part of the video, you will learn how to solve the problems using the financial calculator. But before we do that, let me show you the keys that we will be using. We will use the CMPD key, which is the compound button. Once you press it, you will get a list, and I will explain the list later. And then we have the EXE key. This is the execute button. Once you press it, you can move between items on the list. And then we have the solve button. You only use it once you have entered all the numbers that you have, and then you move next to the missing variable and you press solve. It will give you the value of the missing variable. Now let's put this into practice. we will be using the same exercises we used earlier, just to make it easier for you. So we have the given values PV, I, and N, and we are trying to solve for FV. Now press compound in your calculator, but before you start entering the values, make sure you delete the values already entered from previous use. So here we go. Now where you have N, enter 1 because this is the number of years, and then press execute. And then you will find I. So enter 5 because we have a 5%, but do not enter it as 5% and do not enter it as 0.05, only as 5 because the calculator is already programmed that this is an interest rate. So enter 5 and then execute. Then you will find PV. You should enter the amount in minus. You gotta be careful. And this is only to distinguish between the future value and the present value. So here we have 100 and we should enter it as minus 100 and then execute. Then you will move to payment or PMT. Ignore it for now as it is not part of this problem. And then you will find FV. Once you reach FV, press on solve and it will give you the answer, which is 105. This is exactly the same answer we got earlier using the scientific calculator. Now here's another practice for you for using the financial calculator. Try to pause this video, solve it on your own using the financial calculator, and then come back to check if you got it right. So we have the given values, future value 16,950, present value 600, interest rate 5.73, and the number of time periods is unknown. So start by pressing compound and deleting all the values that you already have from the previous activity. And then you will reach N, skip it because this is the unknown. Then you will find I, enter 5.73 and press execute. Then you will find PV and you know you should enter the present value as a minus value. So you will enter minus 600 and then execute. Then you will find PMT, ignore it for now. And then you will reach FV, which is the future value. You will enter it as 16,950. Then using the arrow, you will move all the way up to N. And next to N, you will press solve. And the calculator will give you the answer at 59.96, which is the same answer you got earlier. And you can round it to 60, which is 60 years. I hope you found this video very useful. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Thank you.